Welcome to the Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins. It looks like we made it. Another week bites the dust, and judging by the kind of week it's been, let's just be glad we all made it that far. Here's a news roundup to send you off into the weekend. Remember when Colin Cowherd, ESPN radio jock, called gamers basement dwellers and declared that if ESPN ever covered video game tournaments that they'd need to kick him off the air? Well, get packing, Colin, because ESPN just launched an eSports vertical. That's right, eSports now exists on ESPN alongside NFL, MLB, NBA, NCAA, and a whole bunch of other acronyms that involve people playing made-up games for money. Okay, that statement isn't totally accurate since Cowherd already left ESPN after publicly questioning the intelligence of Dominicans. But either way, he's out and esports are in. So let's get ready for all kinds of cheesy new words like athletes that we'll laugh at and use ironically until they just become part of our vocabulary. I did that with YOLO. The new vertical launched with a statement that esports is having a moment, citing the reports that esports market will be worth more than $1 billion by the end of next year, up from $130 million just a few years ago. So far, their coverage really does seem comprehensive, ranging from League of Legends to Hearthstone, Halo, and even Smash Brothers. Shout out to my buddy Slasher for keeping it top notch. Gotta wonder how Activision feels about all this with the creation of their new esports network. When they bought MLG just a few weeks ago, they said they were looking to become the ESPN of esports. They probably didn't think they'd be competing with actual ESPN. If all this seems like we're getting one glorious step closer to a reality where video game high school is possible, you might actually be right. A high school in Norway is the latest to offer an esports program for students. Students will get to select 2 competitive games to focus on for this semester and are expected to do a lot of self-education in specially designed gaming environments after school, in addition to exercises in class that improve reflexes. So that it's not just viewed as playtime, the school also expects top students to form a team and compete nationally, just like any sport. This is just one of several programs like this to be introduced to high schools as of late. A few schools in Sweden, the US, and Canada have all done the same thing. It's possible that one day you just might have a letter jacket for Counter-Strike Go. Since the end of 2015, report cards are in for a number of businesses, and Kickstarter's gotten in on the numbers by releasing some pretty interesting stats about some of their campaigns from last year. This week, they revealed that over $46 million was given to successfully fund 374 games, proving that everyone loves a good crowdfund of a game that may never come out. It's the new early access. That number was given by nearly 500,000 backers and is just a fraction of the gaming section of Kickstarter overall, which includes board games and card games. Over $144 million was given to the entire gaming category, but just $18,325 given to that open-world Star Wars RPG by 20-year-old Devin from Dallas, Texas. See where your priorities are. $144 million may sound like a nice pile of money, but it's just a fraction of what the video game industry spent on TV ads in 2015. New reports show that $630 million was spent on video game TV ads that you probably skipped on your DVR anyway, if you even still have cable. Nintendo had the most ads at 49, while Game of War developers Machine Zone had the most spend of $92 million total, which explains why I keep seeing that Kate Upton ad, like, even when I close my eyes at night. Even I'm mesmerized. She's magical. Machine Zone even beat out traditional big spenders Activision, who dished out close to $60 million to advertise both Black Ops 3 and Destiny. That ad spending worked out much better for Activision than it did for Nintendo, though. According to new NPD reports for 2015, Black Ops 3 was the top-selling game of the year, followed by Madden, Fallout 4, Battlefront, GTA 5, NBA 2K16, Minecraft, Mortal Kombat X, FIFA, and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I think the most shocking thing about that list is that Advanced Warfare beat out Metal Gear Solid 5, Splatoon, and Witcher 3, but then again, Call of Duty is just about the biggest video game franchise ever, with now over 250 million copies of the franchise sold to date. That's just about the population of Indonesia, so if you're thinking of getting your Indonesian cousin a copy, don't worry about it, he's probably already got one. So Activision has that going for them, but unfortunately they have some other Call of Duty headaches since the family of former Angolan rebel leader Jonas Savimbi has filed a lawsuit over the company's depiction of Savimbi in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Not the first time they've been taken to court over it, since former Panamanian dictator Manuel Noriega sued over his depiction in the exact same game, and that one was thrown out of court. Activision claims the depiction of Savimbi was a positive one as he leads a group into battle, but Savimbi's family claims he's depicted as a barbarian barbarian and a big half-wit who wants to kill everybody. One of the pillars of Activision's defense in the Noriega case was that the game represents a transformative use of the individual and thus is protected under the First Amendment, and it's likely the same defense would stand in this case. So hey, there's your legal crash course for the day. Ubisoft is hoping that its pseudo-MMO, The Division, will finally top charts in 2016, in spite of the fact that most of us have forgot it's coming out. But then again, maybe that's why they're trying to change. Ubisoft announced via Twitter last night that the closed beta begins January 28th for Xbox One and the following day for PS4 and PC. GameStop Italia accidentally released a trailer for the game earlier this week that was then pulled down, but not before everybody else snagged it for mirroring. The Division launches in March after years of waiting, and we're all hoping it's not another Watch Dogs. On the flip side of first test exclusivity, Epic is opening up its closed beta access to upcoming MOBA Paragon to PlayStation 4 users, quote, very soon, according to an email sent out from Epic. To sign up, just make sure your PSN ID is linked with your Epic account when you register on the Paragon site. That's assuming, of course, you don't get racially profiled by Epic's system, which happened earlier this week. Shout out to the report by Funhouse. Just have the most vanilla name possible. You should be fine. Speaking of games made in the Unreal Engine, Capcom Vancouver, the developers behind Dead Rising, announced via Capcom's blog that they're looking for help on their next projects, which will now use Unreal Engine instead of their former in-house technology. Naturally, we're all excitedly speculating on what this has to do with the future of Dead Rising. Maybe Dead Rising 4? They may have teased as much, actually, dropping one of Frank West's memorable lines from the first game, "It doesn't matter if you've covered wars, you know." A next-generation Dead Rising game made in the gorgeous Unreal Engine? Yes! More of that, please, and more masks on zombies. While Frank West certainly didn't need any fashion tips in Dead Rising, he still isn't as fashionable as Lightning. Give me a second, because in spite of playing all these games, it makes me kind of throw up in my mouth a little bit. The Final Fantasy XIII protagonist has just been announced as one of Louis Vuitton's new women's wear models alongside Jaden Smith. Don't get me wrong, both models look fantastic in designer dresses and everything, but it was Lightning's interview in Telegraph that really turned heads this week, and just about the closest thing we've seen to the dreaded Uncanny Valley. Lightning told the publication that the moment I laid eyes on designer Nicolas Guesquier's collection, it was as if I was hit by a bolt of lightning. I knew that with this, people could change. I could change. Is this gonna be canon? Speaking of contentious canon, Star Wars Episode 7 didn't quite receive the Academy Award consideration that some had hoped for, receiving just 5 nominations when the list of Oscar nominees were released earlier this week. It's funny that we consider 5 kind of a paltry number, but I guess it's not nearly as much as Fury Road's 10 nominations, including Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Makeup, Best Editing, and even Best Picture. Mad Max fans were given quite the scare when creator George Miller reportedly said this week that he wouldn't be making any more Mad Max movies, but don't panic, as it turns out that quote was misinterpreted, and what George actually meant is that he wouldn't be making one right away, and he'll get back to the franchise eventually. It's almost time for that weekend, but some sad news before you go. We'd like to offer our condolences on the death of actor Alan Rickman, who passed away at 69 yesterday after a battle with cancer, giving us another tough loss this week. Rickman was most famous for his roles in Die Hard as Hans Gruber and in the Harry Potter series as Severus Snape, but he'll always have a special spot in my heart from Sense and Sensibility and Galaxy Quest. He was also well known for his performance as Metatron in Dogma, and in general, he managed to portray complex characters we love to hate or couldn't help but love. He was also the single best part of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, potentially its only redeeming quality. Rickman was offered touching eulogies on social media by J.K. Rowling, Kevin Smith, Emma Thompson, and Daniel Radcliffe, who said that film sets and theater stages are all far poorer for the loss of this great actor and man, and I can't agree more. What are your favorite Alan Rickman roles? Let us know in the comments, and we can all be sad sacks together. 2 legends lost in this week. I'm really glad it's over.
After all this time. Always. Quillag. By Grabthar's hammer, by the sons of Warvan, you shall be avenged.
Shall we continue tomorrow?
No, for I must away.
Away? Where?
That I cannot tell you. It is a secret.